Alright, we're on to square number 14. This is the design that we're working on today, and I'm starting by outlining that red shape with a red back stitch. Next, using the brown thread, I'm just going to lay single stitches down over those lines that you can see, both on the outside of the flower and on the inside. And then, still using the brown thread, I'm going to fill those front brown petals with a with a satin stitch. And then I'm going to do, while I'm already there down the bottom, I'm going to add like a big fly stitch over those lines there, because that means I just don't have to cut the thread while I'm already there. I can just move straight onto that shape. Next, I'm going to fill the triangular shapes inside the flower, also with a satin stitch and in the brown. And then I'm going to fill those light blue circles. I'm doing them in a star stitch. Usually I do them in a satin stitch, but I thought it would be nice to mix it up a little bit. And then just adding some lovely French knots. Next, those two big orange petals at the front, I'm going to outline them both using the orange 976, and I'm doing those in a stem stitch. And just follow along for a moment because I wanted to show you something. So when we get to the corner, I'm actually going to go there, 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 and there, so that I can do the whole thing in one movement instead of having to finish the thread off and start again on the other side. So here I'm just continuing on with that other petal. Then the inside, so those blue shapes, I've decided to fill them with a leaf stitch. I find the leaf stitch is such a quick and easy way to fill those kinds of shapes. Of course, you can do something else, something entirely different. Next, let's move on to the flower in the center, and I'm going to outline it with a stem stitch using the red number 22. Then the little orange petals on the inside, I'm going to fill them solid using the orange 976 and a satin stitch. Then I'm going to do a chain stitch on the outer ring, and then there's also a blue ring on the inside, but I find the chain stitch just gives such a lovely texture. You can, of course, do your own outline. And then again, I'm using the chain stitch, so I'm repeating the same stitch but just in a different color, and here I'm using the light blue 503. Next, again using the chain stitch, just because I'm loving that texture, I'm going to outline the top triangular shape of that flower, and I'm actually going to outline both of those lines, so you'll see what I mean in a moment. So the outside of the red and also the inside of the red. And then, just because there is space in there, I've decided to add a bit of a running stitch. Three quick French knots on the inside, and then the same as with the other flower before, I'm also doing a leaf stitch on the inside of these blue leaf shapes, or petal shapes, whatever you want to call them. Then just finishing off that brown line there, once again with a stem stitch, just that little curve on the inside of that flower. And then while I've already got my brown threaded up, I'm just going to add those 3 single stitches. And finally, you know where this goes, it's always the fly stitch on the leaves. Of course, do your own thing if you prefer. I just really love the effect of that fly stitch on the leaves. that is it. I hope you enjoyed stitching this design, number 14. Here are all of your stitches. Enjoy.